Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co, and these are the games I'm adding to my collection in the month of September. Not just these are some of them, but there's like 8 games we're adding to my collection, sort of, with caveats. It's actually more. I just like to cheat at the numbers to make it seem like it's not as much of a problem as it actually is. It is a problem, but I like to make it seem like it's not as much of a problem. But either way, this is a sister video to the general video series I do on the channel of the games leaving my collection every single month. Speaking of that video, this past month we had a whole bunch of games leaving my collection. Specifically, I had 9 games leaving my collection this past month. In general, the way it works is I divide that video up into games that were kind of passing through and then games that were actually taken out of my collection. To that end, the 9 games that were leaving my collection this past month, just a quick recap in case you missed that video, or if you want to see the whole thing play out properly, just pause this video, head on check that one out, and then come back here. But we had Safari Witness, Cheating Moths, Fields of Arles, Terrascape, Lords of Hellas, Four Humors, Lacrimosa, Carnegie, and Gentis. One second. Safari Witness, Cheating Moth, Fields of Arles, Terrascape, Lords of Hellas, Four Humors, Lacrimosa, Carnegie, and Gentis. There we go. I did something wrong with the first. Let me just make. I think I may have done it wrong the first or second time. Safari Witness, Cheating Moth, Fields of Arles, Terrascape, Lords of Hellas, Four Humors, Lacrimosa, Carnegie, and Gentis. Okay, good. 9. For some reason I had 9 and then I counted to 10. I was like, I thought it was 9 and that would change the math on things. Not that it's important, but either way, those are the 9 games that left my collection this past month. If you want to see more as to the reasons why, feel free to check out the games leaving the collection video. This is the games that are being added to my collection. And in general, I divide these up into several categories because in reality we have like maybe 15, 16 games here, maybe less than that, maybe like 14, 13 games being added, but I'm only counting 8 of them. I'll explain it all as we go through it, but let's go ahead and go through these. In general, you know, let's just go through it. Let's start with the first section. The first section is going to be the games that I added to my collection in the kids collection side of things. These are all based on the games I played for the first time in August, and these are being added to my collection, so to speak, in September. But starting with the kids side of things, and I don't count these as part of my total. These are whatever the kids want. The kids games come in, they go out. I don't count them when I'm doing this whole math as far as my collection. But we had a few things. We had Gardlings. Gardlings is a small little fun little game. You can probably check out some things you may not see coverage on yet. Some things that I talk about in this video, I have coverage coming for, and some I already have coverage up. Gardlings is going to be in one video somewhere, I don't know exactly where, but it's a bag building game with doesn't do anything new, but it's cute, it's charming, it works. I have one major complaint against it, but past that, it is a charming game that I enjoy. There's Rove Junior. Rove Junior is another add-on to the Rove universe. There's Rove, and then not to be confused with Dungeon Crawler Rove, there's Rove from Buttonshy. Then there's also Rove, Aqua Rove, and then Rove Junior. Rove Junior is being added to my kids collection. I think it's a fun little puzzle game, and we'll see if my daughter actually plays it or whatnot. I'm not personally, not that she's a kid anymore at this point, but like, still in that category. Anyways, Rove Junior. Then we have Nekojima. Nekojima will have review coverage coming for you at some point. I don't think I enjoyed it enough to be like, this is a game I need to have for my adult friends and whatnot. It is one that I'll play with my family, and I'm sure it will be pulled out and played with adults. It already has. Like, I've already played it in both spheres. We'll have review coverage coming for you soon. And then we have A Gentle Rain as well, which again, not really a kids game, but I'm only keeping it because my daughter wants it, so it puts it in the kids category of things. I think A Gentle Rain is fine. There should be review coverage coming on the channel at some point or already up. I think it's actually already up. But either way, it's A Gentle Rain, a fun little solo game that I just prefer other games instead. Those are the games being added to the kids collection in general, or those are just the games being added based on keeping them for other people, usually the kids. But anyways, that's as far as the games being added in that category, and again, I don't count any of those. There's one more that I don't count, and that's going to be Aqua Rove, which I already mentioned. Meaning I have Rove from Buttonshy already. Aqua Rove is another wallet that just gets added to that set. It's basically more Rove with a small rules adjustment. I don't think of it as a new game. And that is case by case, by the way. If I have like Marvel Zombies and Deceased, I'm going to count those as 2 separate games, just given the volume of them. But with a game the size of a wallet, if it's basically the same game, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's being added. It is what it is. That's Aqua Rove and Rove. I enjoy Aqua Rove. I think I enjoy the original Rove more, but I like the variety that Aqua Rove provides. No differently than the expansions that Rove has. It's just another way of engaging with that core puzzle system. Which brings us to the games actually being added to my collection. These are the 8 games, I believe 8 games that are being added to my collection, although even these I'm breaking up into 2 categories. Those that I think are more temporary, and those that I think are more, not long-term, but longer term. So starting with the temporary category, we have 2 games, which we have Beacon Patrol. Beacon Patrol from Pandasaurus. I have Beacon Patrol and the expansion. There is the possibility this stays longer than I think. It's a fun little solo and or cooperative game of moving ships around. Well, not really moving ships. Well, you're sort of moving ships around. You're placing tiles, sometimes moving ships, and exploring a landscape, and then scoring points based on how you're able to explore the landscape. I think the base game is fine enough. There'll be review coverage at some point, but I need to play through the expansion more. I think the base game is fine enough, and the expansion puts it in a category where I wouldn't be surprised if my opinion continues to go up on the game. I enjoy it enough that for right now it's sticking around. I don't know how long it stays. A lot of that will depend on the expansion and how enjoyable that is. I've played it both solo and multiplayer already, but I really want to dive into more of the expansion stuff before I give it a full opinion on it. But for right now, I like it enough that it's being added right now. I do think it's more of a temporary game, like as in temporary to me just means that I would imagine it leaves within 6 months, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. The expansion could elevate it for me. That's going to be Beacon Patrol from Pandasaurus. But again, I enjoyed it enough for right now that for right now it's still around. Then we have Kyoto No Neko. Kyoto no Neko from Matago. I overall enjoy that one. My biggest thing with it, though, is I do think it is one that, for right now, I still want to explore. For right now, I want to go through all the scenarios and try it out. And I do think it's fast-paced and a fun little dungeon crawler, kind of kitten crawler, what they call it. But I do enjoy it with the caveat that it still is... To me, it's still focused on a younger audience, and to that end, once I do play through all the scenarios, I don't know if either I'll keep it, because I want to play it, or if it'll go into, like, hey, do my kids want to keep it? Because if they do, then great, it's in the kids section of things. Or alternatively, do I just get rid of it entirely? That I don't know. So for right now, though, I definitely enjoy Kyoto No Neko enough. You can see a review on the channel already, but I enjoyed it enough that it is definitely safe for right now, but again, my guess is within 6 months it either leaves my collection entirely or gets moved to the kids collection side of things. Which brings us to the last 6 games, and these are all games that I imagine will be here for a longer time. There are no guarantees. I keep games until they are. I keep games in my collection as long as I think there's a chance that I will pull it off the shelf and play it. There's a chance that I will pick that game over something else. As soon as that no longer happens, it goes away. Regardless of what I said in these videos, this is just me telling you what I think will happen with these games. Although I did rank them in order from least to most certain on how long these games are going to be around for. Although one of them is a little bit of a caveat. But starting, well, a few of them have a caveat. There's caveats left, right, and center. There's caveats all around. But starting with Captain Obvious over here from Lucky Duck, this is a party game that really impressed me and surprised me. It is surprising how fun this game is. I don't know if it's a forever kind of game or if, well, forever is a long term. There's no such thing as forever. I enjoy it right now. I don't know if it'll slowly shift into my I don't know, what do you call it, my rotation of party games, or whether it's one that I've just been enjoying playing now. But I certainly have been enjoying playing it now, so for right now, Captain Obvious is definitely around, and we'll see how long that one lasts. Then we have Panda Spin, which is the first of 2 caveats, I guess. Panda Spin is going to be one that is currently on Kickstarter. I don't even have a copy, but I did play it in Gen Con, and so I usually, just for my own ease of tracking, I track these things based on when I played the game. Even if I didn't actually have the game yet, if I know I'm going to be acquiring it, I track it that way. So Panda Spin, it's going to be in my collection for a while-ish, because it has to even show up first, and we'll see. But I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm curious if it'll have legs on it, because I only got 1 play-in, but I really enjoyed it, and it is a small box shedding game that I think will last, but what time will tell on Panda Spin. Then we have Citizens of the Spark, which is another caveat-ish, despite having it on the table in front of me. This is a prototype. It's actually being sent off to another creator shortly, which means that this one is basically a game that I know I enjoyed enough that I'm waiting for the final game to come. Ultimately, I like Citizens of the Spark, and just I won't know for a year or so. Until the final copy shows up, I won't even have a chance to see how it settles my collection. For right now, I just know I've had a chance to play it at Gen Con several times since Gen Con, and now it's being sent on to another content creator. There'll be a review on the channel for it at some point, but spoiler to that, I like the game, and I plan on getting it, and we'll see how long it lasts once I do get it. Which brings us to the last 3 over here. The last 3 are a little bit more simple and to the point. We have Clans of Midgard, which is not on the table, unfortunately. Clans of Midgard is a small box game from Grey Fox Games that is a drafting area control game. Gives you Blood Rage vibes combined with, pick your favorite roll and write or whatever it is. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very well done. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. It was fast. It give you a lot to juggle. Like every single card in the game gives you so much to consider and juggle. Again, there'll be a review on the channel at some point, either before or after this video. But I thought Clans of Midgard was fantastic, and I think you should check it out. If you like fast-paced games, if you like area control games, if you like drafting games, the drafting in this game was tight. I wasn't a huge fan of the graphic design of the game. I definitely had some complaints, some nitpicks, but overall, I think Clans of Midgard was excellent and definitely worth checking out. Then we have Rebel Princess from Bezier. Really like this one. Speaking of games like Panda Spin, small box games that give you a good experience, Rebel Princess is a trick-taking game that gives you 26 different trick-taking varieties in the box, meaning there's always a card that mixes up how the game plays. Some of them in small ways and some of them in very, very large ways, but they really do change the way you interact with the game, and I think that's what really makes this game stand out for me. It is a trick-taking game that variety is inherent in the DNA of the game, and if you watch my content, you know that one of the things I do appreciate in games is variety. I like feeling like the game is different every time I play it, even when you're operating within the same general set of rules, and Rebel Princess gives me that a lot. Really enjoy this one. I have to imagine this will be here for a very long time. And then further on that, we have Spectacular over here from Chili Fox. I love Spectacular. I think it's amazing. I think it's incredible. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I think it gives you drafting with tiles and dice in a really, really solid game that's just a lot of fun to try to figure out. Like, this is one of those games I just want to keep playing and playing and playing. Every time I play, I'm like, I think I could do a little better. I think I can optimize my score a drop more. In the world of point management of 7,000 ways to score points, it's not 7,000, like 6 ways to score points, but all these different ways you're trying to score points, and then the animals are drafting and the dice are drafting and trying to line it all up. This gave me a very satisfying puzzle. I really enjoy Spectacular, and I imagine it will be here for, well, for a while. I imagine it'll be here for a while. And that's basically what we have over here. Those are the 8 games. Again, a bunch of caveats and ish and adjacents, but those are the 8 games effectively that I'm adding to my collection, which means if you've been tracking this video series, this is the 5th one in the series. This is the 5th time I've been doing the games added to my collection series. Currently, with the 8 that are being added in this video and the 9 that left in my games leaving the collection video, that puts our adjustment on this video at -1. We're at -1 game in my collection this month, which if you've been tracking the full series puts us at 14 games being added. Across the 5 months I've been doing this video series, there have been 14 games added to my collection across 5 months, which are stats that I can live by, but we'll see how things fare next month. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.